Good morning, friends. Welcome. This is Dr. Rao. I was wondering, many times this happens, right? Um, People either they say we are intellectuals and that is the supreme, or people say no, we grasp everything intuitively, and so they put one against another and really get lost in that world, right? Uh, my dilemma is uh, both we are raised with uh, rational intellectualism, and that's how I became a doctor, or somebody becomes an engineer, somebody becomes a computer expert or scientist, whatever, right? So we value that. But then when it comes to real understanding, that is where the problem is. Uh, Basically both are really for understanding, uh, but each taps into a different dimension, right, of human cognition. you know so it's like a intellectualism emphasizes reason, logic, and analytical thinking, while intuition leans on an inner sense or knowing that often transcends rational explanation, right? So let's start with the definitions, and then I will tell you why this dilemma is there for me and why we need to marry them. That's my argument, right? Science and spirituality, intellect and intuition. Can we marry them? See, let's see, understand the definition of intellectualism is it's rooted in conscious thought. Intellectualism is a really a systematic, objective, and based on accumulated knowledge, right? Out there now. So it does involve actively engages in analyzing facts, drawing on the evidence that we have, and also structuring thoughts in a logical sequence, right? This is very instrumental in complex problem solving, as it allows we can do methodical, we can make a decision based on clear, verifiable data, right? Medicine informatics, I do that. You see, it has its strength in fields that require precision, structure, and predictability, such as science, right? Law, mathematics. However, it can sometimes limit individuals to linear thinking only one way, and making it challenging to capture the fluidity and nuance that is inherent in human experiences, like my patient experience. Whereas intuition definition is described as an immediate instinctive understanding that really emerges without any conscious reasoning, right? So it's like a flash of insight that bypasses the analytical mind, say, drawing upon the deeper, often unconscious knowledge, right? It's not happened, right? We can grasp it. This intuitive process is informed by experiences, maybe, emotions, maybe, and even ancestral wisdom, right? Okay, especially it's actually a synthesis of countless subtle inputs that may not be easily explained. You may have, Indians said, you may have world life knowledge, world life experience of asanas and all. But however it is, the intuition is really invaluable in situations requiring creativity, empathy, and a holistic perspective. See, because it connects us to something beyond mere logic. Okay, intuition can sometimes be vague or difficult to verify, especially when it clashes with empirical evidence, right? So those are the definitions. Okay, and the deal is, how can we find a harmony between these two? That's the thing I'm really concerned about, especially in fields like medicine and wellness. We want logical analysis and also empathetic insight. They are crucial. Okay, whereas intellectualism can ground our intuition, it can ground really, because they can say the only this way, only how to go. Uh, it also grounds our clarity, for example, and also structure, you know. So intuition, however, it adds a layer of sensitivity and also the depth. Okay, and that really transcends the limitations of intellectual thought alone. Okay, the layer of sensitivity and the depth. So, so when we incorporate both, it kind of gives us a holistic understanding. Like my patient has age, weight, and all that, but he also has inner experiences, inner feelings, and all that. Unless I put them together, I cannot really make a good decision for him, right? So this fusion of intellectualism and intuition, it can create a powerful synergy, especially in my field, medicine and wellness, because we need to balance both analytical with the experiential. You know, that's really essential for our true healing in our patient care, right? Um, See, usually intellectualism that is rooted in evidence-based medicine and research and clinical trials and data, right? All these are important and we take them into account seriously, right? But whereas intuitive, it's like a soul of the structure. You know, we can build the structure with analytical science, but then the soul of the structure is the intuition, right? Uh, so actually, that is the one which breathes life into the analytical structure. So otherwise, it becomes a very rigid form, right? So intuition actually, I would say, it reaches the depth of human experience. And that's why it is intuitive, it is spontaneous, it happens, but it is coming from the knowledge of various lifetimes or various experiences or various studies and all that, right? But basically, without studying right now, we can have the intuitive experience. Okay, so it is not something evidence that we can measure directly. You know, that is the problem. Okay, um, but then in holistic health, that's the way it is. You cannot really measure how the patient feeling about something or how he's rejecting or receiving whatever that we give him, all that, you know. So if you combine the rational and then intuition, see, they make a physician, he concerned about beyond symptoms, beyond conditions, and really going to the root of the experience of the patient. So, for example, we can establish various treatment protocols, right? And but also, patient needs encouragement, gentle assurance, or a more personalized approach. He's not just satisfied just to giving you a paper of prescription and tell you take it, go home, and you'll be well. He wants to be talked to. He wants to be listened to. He wants to be reassured. All that will be there. You know. So this balance fosters a practice where you have intellect and intuition balance, right? You have empathy, respect, and specific regard rigor because we have the analytical data too. So all I'm saying is, in the end, the integration of what cultivates a deeper understanding is this marriage between data and the compassionate healing. So somebody who is involved in modern medicine and also ancient wisdom, I think I'm going towards a transformative wellness. Okay, because when I'm combining these two, best of both worlds. Okay, this is a perfect expression of the harmony between knowing and being. Knowing is the rationality, and being is the intuitive grasp. Right. So that's what I was getting at. And what happens is most of the time people get out of balance in these two. How do you recognize them? You know, if there somebody is out of balance or not. And that is by um, inner discomfort will be there when you're out of balance, right? And also, you have some signals from your own emotions. Of course, you have physical symptoms too. That something is wrong. That indicates that. And also, you will get not only symptoms but also external signs. So relationships, daily interactions, all those things reflect that. Okay, um, how can you, if you are finding yourself as out of balance, how can you return? This is important for people to understand. This is where your awareness, your reflection comes into uh, place, because it shows you, okay, you have this out of balance, so you need to correct it. No, then you have to connect with your breath and body, and also you're going to harmonize what you think and what you feel, right? And also, you really have to intuitively trust your instincts, and and also you want to get the data analytically and then reflect on that. Okay, if all these things are not really, you're aware, you're reflecting, you're connected with your body and breath, and also you are uh, harmonizing your feelings and thoughts, then you got to go to the somebody who can guide you, like a somebody who is a teacher or a mentor, or even supportive friends. They kind of embody this balance in themselves. Then they can provide. If they don't have the balance, if the therapist don't have the balance, he cannot help you like that. Okay. uh, what is happening is, in modern life, we many people value rational minds, and um, that is worshipped. But then the problems that we have need ancient solutions, which are mostly at the intuitive grasp. You see where I'm coming there now? So how do we get the balance is important. Instead of looking them as opposite things, we can marry them, we can synthesize them. So uh, see, in today's world, rational mind is heavily emphasized. Society values evidence, yeah, data as, and also measurable outcomes. Whereas the ancient wisdom treasures most of them, right? Uh, they kind of take us um, a journey inward, right? Inward and beyond the intellect, into that um, resonate with intuition, okay? Felt experience and the unseen. All these things you feel with intuitively, right? So how do you achieve this balance? Is you got to practice a daily practice of stillness of the mind, and also you got to engage in practices like a thought and intuition are married in yoga, for example. Okay, both physical and also a spiritual practice, right? That you can do. Well, these movements are methodical and structured. They actually simultaneously, as you go into the yoga moves, they cultivate an awareness. You are aware of how the body is, how it is aching, how it's not aching, and all that. So first cultivate a daily practice of stillness. Then engage in practices like yoga, which marry both thought and intuition, and then really reflect on your thinking. Okay, I'm back on there. So that's good. Hopefully, people can listen to me. And then, so like we were talking about, how can we achieve the balance where we use both the intellect and also intuition in union, right? So I was telling you about being stillness and being marrying both thought and intuition in practices like yoga, and also really reflect on your learnings, and then in small decisions, especially trust your intuition, sixth sense, right? And then you can reflect on the timeless teachings that are pretty good, and then whenever possible, you create opportunities for intuitive experiences. Okay? Like pratyahara is something I talk about. Like it's a forest bathing combined with pratyahara. So you go to the forest, you are looking at it, then all the stimuli that are coming at you, you kind of watch and let them go. Okay, so if you really look at uncertainty coming in your life as it is trying to teach you something, and you are better off that way. So you can have this balance in every day. Okay, so say ongoing interplay that happens between rational and intuitive, right? And really makes your understanding get transformed. See, instead of making modern and ancient wisdoms are uh, enemies, you can make them vibrant partners that can be cultivated. So, by honoring rational thought without rigid attachments and embracing intuition with an open, non judgmental awareness, we bridge the gap between the head and the heart. This is a harmony that resonates very deeply with the holistic wellness approach of what I am talking about all the time. I want to use the science, but I also want to fall back on the spirituality, combine them, and create a harmony that really helps holistic wellness that I preach about. Eat well, exercise, but rest your mind, enjoy things, go and enjoy the nature, that kind of thing, you see. See, what if you start to do this regularly, over time it becomes a natural process. Okay, and then you will be having a natural state of being where you can use your um, outer world and the inner world in the same way. Okay, at least fusion. Okay, so I don't know whether this makes sense for you, but this is a very important decision for me because I encounter a lot of resistance about ancient wisdom because they think only the studies of modern times are valid and timeless practices for centuries are not valid. Okay, that's where I have to help people to understand why we need to be taking science, but also tapping on our spirituality to combine wellness measures of healthcare. Okay, so it makes any sense to anybody, or you have some comments about it, or you have gone through this kind of dilemmas before, and you want to understand it because we don't want to take something that we don't understand and also cause problem with our health, right? But at the same time, who is advising us? Is somebody who is just studying books and says he knows everything, or somebody who has a lot of experience and also he's saying whatever I say you listen? No, we want to take the objective data that is coming up from the research and also employ that, but at the same time um, understand about the empathy or feeling of the patient or how they are responding. All that is important too. And lots of deeper understandings are there in the ancients because they went completely beyond this restrictive rational thought, right? Whereas rational thought, if it's not really attached to some things, then it can really value the what it is grasping through intuition. Okay, so for me it is very clear, and so I don't neglect the scientific data, but I look at it with a critical eye also, and also I look at who is publishing, what is their life experience, so how do they understand anything from ancient times and all that. Okay, uh, then it can be easy to marry them. And obviously, in my own life, this ancient wisdom practices helped me when I was sick, when I was out of it, when I had difficult times, when I had problems to understand certain people with the racism and all that. So it is kind of helped me a lot to be in this world, but also living in harmony with everybody, in harmony with our modern scientific rational thought, with uh, intuitive grasp of uh, really life's universal truths that were revealed by meditative awareness of the ancient practitioners. Okay. So anybody has any questions, you can come and then I'll be able to help you understand it better. Okay. Can you hear me at all now? Okay. So basically, what my dilemma I am presented here, but I'm very comfortable with combining science and spirituality. And many people don't want to be confused by it, especially when the situations come that are pretty challenging. Personal people are involved, or maybe other people, making different decisions in the difficult situations very easily. How do they do? Do they go by their instinct, or do they go by their data that they have? So we see that situations in the patient care all the time. Of course, other things too: money, insurance, political realities. So many things play their role. But basically, we always try to combine both these two. That's much more clear to me after I engaged in this science and spirituality struggles, right? And wanted to honor both of them, but also not to be limited by them, right? That's my experience. Okay. So this is an important topic for regular people too, because your health is involved, your wellness is involved, and also even in your own life, you want to be clear, you want to be doing stuff that is pretty comfortable for you, and you are not confused about it, or you are feeling like I'm missing or some things and all. That would be there if you have this clarity about when to take rational thought into account and when to marry that with your instinct of intuition, right? You feel certain thing is not right, but then other people are throwing that at you. You may accept it, but then you went against your own intuition warning you, then usually that will be wrong, right? We experience it, all of us. So that's another thing is there is a value of the wisdom of the ancients that is very important, relevant, and needed at this time. You see, that's my thing is, many people are, when they are young, when they are doing all, they may overcome so many things. But if you take the health conditions of the old people in the America, many of them are allowing the diseases to go uh, just by suppressed, and but then they go unchecked in the bottom that is not seen for you. You might be taking medications just to control the symptoms, but not really attending to the causes of the illness, and then they go into chronic diseases that are having outcomes that are pretty negative. And that is where, if you look at it, America looks like a only country for the young people, and old people are, you don't have to do anything just to go and rest in the nursing home. You don't have to do that. That's my argument. My argument is you can live longer, well, better, if you use the medical care properly, and also if you use the wisdom of the ancient healing systems. Because I tasted it, I kind of benefited from that. That's why I'm promoting those ancient uh, healing systems. So that way, our mental health is better, our physical health is better, and also we kind of have a long life that we can enjoy and really show people how much we can experience, how can we participate, how can we help people, and all. So you can live really. If you just only deny the entire ancient system thing, I think you are going the route of many Americans are going to their work, and then they retire, and some sudden major illness strikes and they don't come back, and they go and really wither out and die in the nursing homes. That's a actual fact. My thing is, it doesn't have to be like that. We can give some quality of life. Maybe they can do less. They can do, lot of things they may not do, but they can do some small things, and they can participate, being there joyfully with us, right? And they can really help you, or they can help you with their guidance of why wisdom that they have, and then they can stay there, but they can be affectionate and loving to you, that kind of thing. So let us get the uh, nurture these elderly people with this wisdom of using both intellect and intuition in a marriage. Okay, hope that makes sense to you all, and it makes certainly big sense for me. And also, I need to talk about this. Otherwise, most of the scientifically trained physicians and all that, they only rely on the data, and then they, even though they know instinctively this may not be working for this patient, but just because some study says something, they have to use that. Or they are very reluctant to bring in the life sustaining, life empowering systems of ancients. That's what I wanted to advocate. And I'm not against the science, but I know the limitations of it. I'm not completely for the ancients because some of the real truths are muffled and many people don't know, right? So that's why I'm kind of advocating, consider science, take science, but then see the limitations of that, right? And also consider ancient wisdom and see the limitations there too. Because a lot of people misinterpret what ancients have to say. They may not have put enough time, they may not have studied, and also you got to evaluate that too. But as a scientific community, I'm always pushing scientific community to take upon these things, look at them. They don't pay attention because there is no money in that. But then if they pay attention, they will save a lot of dollars. For example, I am there. I don't go to any doctor for any prescription, anything like that. If I want some preventive workup, I may go there. But then a lot of people come to me asking for opinion, suggestions, and all that. I tell them about a lot of lifestyle changes which don't harm them. Actually, it improves their health. But if they want to practice things like yoga, I teach them too. So what I'm saying is, after you become old, you don't have to go down and be a vegetable. You can actively participate in life. You can actively enjoy your life. You can actually really enjoy your children, grandchildren, like that. Okay. So take a look at what are the healing systems the ancients are providing. How many are based on intuition? How can I bring that into my life and be healthy and well? Okay. So that's what I have to say. I hope everybody heard everything I said, and it made some sense for you. So if you have any questions or comments, let me know. Send me DMs or anything. If you guys are not interested in these topics, let me know that too. Then I would come and take pain to present these things to you. But this is a very relevant, important issue for us physicians and the people who are providing healthcare service. So don't be only solely on one system, but marry them and make them equal partners, make them good partners too, so that they can collaborate, not acting as adversaries for one against the other, but then they collaborate and both systems can deliver to the people, the patient who needs this kind of combination of marriage of this. Okay. Thank you, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.